Hi YouTube. I am driving to Flushing, going to work with my uncle for a little bit. I wanted to talk about the soul. Listening to this great audiobook. It's called Seth Speaks. And he was discussing the soul, and it really resonated. Reading the book listening to the book has been really powerful because he's touched on a lot of concepts that I held to be true in college, but everybody thought I was crazy, or like nobody really chatted with me about them. It was like I was dawning upon a lot of things for myself and sharing them with people, and they were like, whoa, that's cool, but nobody was pushing it necessarily further. Some people were, but not as, like, I don't know. I feel like what happened after college is I kind of forgot about a lot of stuff like that. It was like, okay, well, whatever. I was learning about a lot of stuff. I was awakened to a lot of things, but nothing really came of it aside from being miserable, which is how I perceived it at the time, and what I was experiencing at the time. So I've put all that stuff away. So reading this book and listening to the book has been bringing back or reconnecting a lot of these insights. So I am very, very, very excited about it all. So about the soul. So I wanted to ask, what do you think a soul is? What is a soul to you? Right? Because I think we have very interesting concepts of the soul. My nose is so itchy, as y'all can see. We treat it as though it's like something you'll get acquainted with, something you'll never get acquainted with, or like something that's like at a distance from you, or something that is like inconceivable, abstract, and hard to understand. Something that you figure out around death. Usually when you start talking about it, where does the soul go? Selling and losing your soul. People who've lost their soul. People who have sold their soul to the devil, for instance. And Seth makes a good point, which is that it's like we treat our soul the way that we've been taught to think about women's virginity, as something that gains value in the losing of it, or like it's something that needs to remain intact, and just like a very limited understanding of it being like this thing that you own, that it's yours, and then you can like give it away and do other stuff with it, which is not how I perceive the soul. I perceive you are your soul. Like, people are always like, what is the soul? Where is that? You are your soul. I remember learning about Buddhism in 8th or 10th grade, I believe, and in high school. And we learned about Buddhism, and it was very, very powerful, like learning about the concept of the soul, like as an ocean. Like, ocean is consciousness. It's all of the universal stuffs, and you surge up in the waves that come onto shore. That's like you, or like the waves that come over. That's you. The little crest, little water. Just like every time the water kind of moves, and then it separates itself from a big mass of water. So currents and things like that. Those are all expressions of different souls, and afterwards it goes back into the ocean. So that's, for me, at least part of what the soul is. I feel like the soul is ever expansive, and I feel like we think of the soul as this like rigid thing that we like bring along with us, and it's like I've been this soul throughout all of time and eternity, and I feel like, yes, your personality is attached to that, but that's only one part of it, because you've grown and learned so much through your lifetimes. Your soul has learned a lot of things, and I just think it's very interesting how we feel like we won't know our soul, or like, how do I know my soul? You would have to know yourself. Like, something that came to me, I was like, because this is something I do, like try to like brain it out, like figure it out, and it doesn't work that way sometimes. Sometimes you really just got to get really simple. So I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm heading to work, so I can't really, I'm gonna try to take some time to draw, but I don't have the supplies I want. I'm gonna draw what I feel different parts of my body look like inside. And then ultimately I want to draw what I think my soul looks like. I draw abstractly, so I'm gonna do that, and I will share it all with you and probably post it on Instagram. But yeah, I would love to hear everybody, what do you think a soul is, or what is a soul to you? What does that mean? Who taught you about that? Let me know.